Hello and welcome to another helping video. Today is Saturday the 15th of February, and as usually every Saturday is a hard chemtrail day here in Germany because Sunday all shops are closed and Saturday is the day after the working week. The people go shopping, go outside, enjoy the sun. It's almost spring. Well, not really, but a sunny day, and there's a lot of airplanes going over Frankfurt, making the grid of chemtrails. It all comes down and nobody knows. Nobody wants to know. It seems like if you tell the people, they say, well, that's conspiracy theory, it can't be. Well, I don't listen to this crazy talking, and so the people ignore this, and well, the thing is going on, and well, okay, in spite of this, I continue my work, speaking out the warning, and try to help people who are targeted, like me. And today I make the most complicated video I ever made. It's about neurotoxins, and it's such a complicated stuff that I really don't know if this is a ongoing video. Maybe I have to cut a lot, and you may see some cuts and some springs. This is because of this complicated stuff. Because I'm not a scientist, I only can read this and explain in my words, and I hope that my education come along, that you may understand what it is all about. Just to say it in short words, they're using neurotoxins on targeted individuals, and how they bring it to them. They bring it with the SCALA technology of Nikola Tesla, as I explained in my videos, techniques, so electronic torture techniques. In a SCALA wave, there's a vacuum channel made by gravitons that are curling around. You know, there's an electromagnetic wave, and you can build up a vacuum channel with gravitons and electrons, and if you have a DNA of a targeted individuum, you can hit this person and send this person chemicals and also neurotoxins through that vacuum channels right into the body. And normally they use the back brain, because this is a place where the small brain is, the reptilian brain, the center of the nervous system they want to hit. Also possible hitting points are caverns like bronchial tube, this is my problem, the whole lung, also the mouth cavern, the nose cavern. All these caverns we have, they can program their machines that the SCALA waves comes right into this cavern and bring in neurotoxins. Well, you might think, well, why I'm still alive? They could kill me. Well, I don't think so, because the concentration is always low. So that means you have a good chance to counter this. I will tell you how. It's more in the end of the video. I make a time spring. If it is too long for you, this speaking here, I make a time spring, and it's called Helping Things, or what you will see it below my video. Well, continue with this neurotoxins. Well, how did I found out this? Well, there are symptoms I had after I put out all the small gallons, so they can't hit me with pain anymore. They changed the way, so they make me sleepy now and slow and tired and also weak. So that they try to target me another way around, not to put me under pain with this more gallons shit. So the more gallons I'm cleaned, I cleaned it out of my body, and then they saw this where they can measure it, and then they changed the way how to target me, and now they're using more things that makes me sleepy. It can also be Valium, but they're using neurotoxins. I make a short clip of a game. It is called Wolfenstein: The New World Order, and there's an interesting scene. I must warn you, it's cruel, it is with blood, but I'm sorry, there was no other way to avoid it, because this clip is very important. I play it now, and be careful, it is with blood.
It's all over now. As the synthetic tetanus vaccine further inhibits your nervous system, shutting down your motor faculties, you'll find it harder and harder to move. There we are.
Bubi, was kann ich für dich tun? Bin beschäftigt. Bin wieder in Berlin, um den letzten Dreckshaufen zu beseitigen, den Captain Blaskowitsch vor unserer Tür hinterlassen hat.
Ich habe ein Geschenk für dich, mein Schatz.
Wirklich? Ich liebe Geschenke. Zeigst du es mir?
Dir zeige ich doch alles.
Bubi, dein Geschenk ist kostbarer als alles, was ich mir hätte erträumen können.
Darf ich ihn für dich aufschneiden?
Gerne. Langsam. Damit ich es genießen kann.
This woman is my life, you understand? My everything. Warm blood, the smell, it sickens.
Oh, baby!
I give you enough toxins to paralyze an elephant. There's something very wrong with your cerebral cortex.
Well, this is really cruel. It's also satanic, because this Bubi is enjoying killing other people, the smelling of blood and so. Well, this is a kind of tricky to put this satanic religion of Babylon into PC games, that the youth get used to it. Well, also this demonization of German people like me. Well, what is Bubi? Bubi is just a small boy. My grandma called me Bubi or Bub because she was from south of Germany, and south of Germany they call small boys boob or booby. It's nothing satanic in this name Bubi, but they like to demonize this German soldiers or the SS. Okay, the SS was satanic. Some say it was the name was satanic service, so SS maybe. But not every German soldier was cruel like in this game. It is just that they like to make enemies, that they can make wars, that they have enemies that they can send into wars against each other, and it is no other than the Jesuit order, that they control also Hollywood, the game industry, the military, and sometimes the Antichrist likes to play God, so he's telling us what he's doing also in PC games, and that he fulfill his own prophecy, but this prophecy has nothing to do with the Bible's prophecy. It's just that the Antichrist likes to play God, and sometimes he's telling us what he's doing. There's also another example, like Prometheus, this alien movie. You see here this particle beam right into the back of the brain of this Prometheus. This is also my experience. Since I wear glass fiber on my back brain, I have not so much problems anymore because this glass blocks scalar waves. Let me start with an overview. There are different kinds of neurotoxins. The most important class is neurotoxins made by bacteria, and this is our chance to defend ourselves. Just to say it in short words, if you use chlordioxine as a solution, like in the film of Jim Humble explained, you destroy all these bacteria because the bacteria has a membrane, and this chlordioxine destroys the membrane of the bacteria, and you are free then. Well, this is the main message of my film, and I put it right in the beginning of my video, but later I explain it more in detail, and I make a jump in my video below, that you can go right into this helping things, the countermeasures. Let me start with a text from Wikipedia, and the classes. Well, the classes are, the first class is neurotoxins by bacteria. We are confronted with. There are also other neurotoxins from animals. Animals like snakes, scorpions. Also from mussels. There's one neurotoxin. It's called saxitoxin, and you can find it in these animals we have in our eyes. This saxitoxin is produced by this small, it's like a plankton, and this is from this blog Look Out for Charlie made. I'm sorry it's not there anymore, but I printed it out maybe 1 year ago, and he found this under a microscope. It's a small animal, and it produces a neurotoxin. It's called saxitoxin. This saxitoxin makes you tired, makes your muscle hurts. It hurts your muscles, makes you weak, and you can also fight this with chlorine dioxide. Just make a solution by your own and put some drops in it. Well, I explain it in the end of my video. Well, just give you a short example how these neurotoxins are well, damage us, and everybody has it. They spray it with airplanes. You inhale it into your lung. It goes into your body, into your bloodstream, and in the eye. They like to live because they have also they live also from the sunlight because it's a mixture between animal and a plant. They have also this green stuff. The leaves have it also, this chlorophyll. Well, and this is the reason why it lives in your eye flu. Well, okay, I go on with this classes. Well, there are bacteria, neurotoxins from animals. There are neurotoxins made by plants. The most important is mushrooms or fungi, and Morgellon is a fungi, and this fungi must produce also a toxin that is psychedelic. Well, I see people here in my place where I live. I know they are targeted because they are looking so sick, and meanwhile they are smiling like they are happy, but they are not really happy. They are narcotized by this mushroom poisoning of Morgellons, and this is what they are doing. They narcotize the people that they have a nice death. It's euthanasia made by this bio war, or this bacteria war, but this poison, there's a poison also made by this Morgellons from this fungi, from these mushrooms, and it makes the people relax, uncritical, and this is also the reason why people don't stand up. Well, they are already dumped down by this mushroom Morgellon, and well, I go on. There's another class, heavy metals. The most problem we have in unindustrialized countries, sorry for my speaking, is mercury. You find it everywhere. It's also in the sea. So, well, they use also magnetic heavy metals, barium, strontium. They spray it. If you have it, they can better hit you with a scalar wave, because this magnetic heavy metals, they get a good connection with the scalar wave, so they can better find a resonance with your body if you are a target individual. So they use also magnetic heavy metals in this war, and before that war we had already problems with mercury. Well, there's a fifth group. It's called chemical weapons. Well, I think this kind of attacks, well, I had some, but it was more pepper spray in the field on the outside. I had a sleep on the grass, and there was a farmer coming with a tractor, and he was standing, and I was thinking, well, it's just a tractor, but then I realized that there was a kind of gas over my head. It was like pepper spray, so I had a struggle, and I went up, and the farmer went away with the tractor. That was a kind of chemical weapon, but it was not a death threat. It was they don't do this because it's a silent war. They don't want to see that people are attacked with chemical weapons. So normally they don't use it, but okay, one time I had an attack with a, they use it also on demonstration, when we have a demonstration here and the police shooting with this pepper spray patrons, and they spray it also on people that there's a chain, they want to break the chain, and they use this pepper spray. well, it's not really a chemical weapon like in a war. You know, that's pictures from the First World War. They used chlor, and they have a they had a gas mask, and well, this and there are also like sarin or taboon or all this stuff. It can cause death immediately, and normally they don't use it in this silent war. Well, that was just an overview. I go into a text of Wikipedia. Neurotoxins are toxins that are destructive to nerve tissue. Neurotoxins are an extensive class of exogenous chemical neurological insults that can adversely affect function in both developing and mature nervous tissue. Just going on with bacteria, neurotoxins. The bacteria are producing things that protect them to be eaten by other organisms. So in the evolution of bacteria, they developed poisoning neurotoxins that other organisms don't eat them. They don't produce these toxins because they are evil or they want to harm us. It's just there are other people they are evil, and they found out that these bacteria are useful to damage other people. That's it. Exotoxin is a toxin secreted by bacteria. An exotoxin can cause damage to the host by destroying cells or disrupting normal cellular metabolism. They are highly potent and can cause major damage to the host. Well-known exotoxins include botulinum toxin, produced by Clostridium botulinum, Corynebacterium diphtheria toxin, produced during life-threatening symptoms of diphtheria. Tetanospasmin, this is in this video clip, this neurotoxin. Tetanospasmin, produced by Clostridium tetani. The toxic properties of most exotoxins can be inactivated by heat or chemical treatment to produce a toxoid. Exotoxins are susceptible to antibodies produced by the immune system. Well, there are different kinds of exotoxins. There are toxins that can go into your cell, into your nervous cell, by scratching your membrane, and other toxins, they go inside your nervous cell, and there are toxins that can both scratch off your membrane of nervous cell, and then they go in with poisoning. Well, there are different kinds, and well, I can say, I give you here a graphic. I show it later, and you see it better. Well, as you can see, it is in German, I'm sorry, the most neurotoxins are working on this synaptic cleft. Synaptic cleft, you see it here, it is right down, and here you see sarin, it's a chemical weapon, Bungara toxin, it's from a bacteria, botulinus toxin, it's also from a bacteria, and latrotoxin. Well, the most neurotoxins are damaging or disturbing this informations going in this synaptic cleft. And here's another graphic. Well, this is a synaptic cleft, and as you see, there's an axon terminal on the top, and there's another nerve dendrite of a second neuron below, and between this is the ending of two nervous cells, and between them they're going a lot of neurotransmitters two ways, and this neurotoxins disturbing this flow of neurotransmitters. I showed this picture already in this video, how to make a bone soup. Well, I go back to this other graphic. Well, going on, there are also other neurotoxins that are more in this axon. This is this cable between the so that is, for example, diphtheria toxin and tetrodotoxin. There's another neurotoxin. It's more on the cell core, the left up. There's cell core tetanus toxin. So there are different exotoxins made by bacteria, and most of them are damaging the synaptic cleft, but there are also others that damaging more other parts of a nervous cell. I'll just give you here another graphic. Yeah, here you see this is a nervous cell. Well, there's a cell core, the green nucleus, and there's an axon terminal, and on the right side and on the axon terminal you find this synaptic clefts, and an axon terminal is connected with a dendrite. It is on the left side, or the next nervous cell. So there's a chain of nervous cells in your body, in your brain, and these neurotoxins, they disturbing this chain in several ways. And okay, let me bring back this graphic here. In a neuron, synaptic vesicles or neurotransmitter vesicles store various neurotransmitters that are released at the synapse. The release is regulated by a voltage-dependent calcium channel. Vesicles are essential for propagating nerve impulses between neurons and are constantly recreated by the cell. The area in the axon that holds group of vesicles is an axon terminal or terminal button. Well, okay, it's interesting. Here in this text they say that the cell can recreate itself, well, the vesicles, and you can help your nervous system to do so. For example, bone soups and other helping things. I will explain in the end of my video. Now let me talk a little bit about these three main neurotoxins made by bacteria. One I have talked already. It's saxitoxin, made by this small eye flower. I talk a little bit about saxitoxin because many target persons have problem in seeing. because of this saxitoxin, and some people, they fear that they are going blind, but it's not the case. It is just because of this small animal. Everybody has an eye, and there are frequencies that they can multiply this animal. There's a special frequency that this energy make them growing, multiply, so you have maybe in your apartment the feeling that you can't read a book anymore, you can't see so good anymore. Well, it's just because of they sending this frequency for this small animal in your eye, and so then it produces saxitoxin and you can't see so good anymore. Well, let me read it. The saxitoxin. Saxitoxin is a potent neurotoxin and the best known theoretic selfish toxin. Ingestion of saxitoxin by humans, usually by consumptions of selfish, contaminated by toxic algal blooms, is responsible for the illness known as paralytic selfish poisoning, in brackets PSP. Saxitoxin has a large environmental and economic impact, as its presence in bivalve shellfish such as mussels, clams, oysters and scallops frequently leads to bans on commercial and recreational shellfish harvesting in many temperate coastal waters around the world, including northeastern and western United States, well, and so on. All these countries make no sense. We are not talking about eating, we are talking about targeting persons. Well, this is just where this saxitoxin, you can find it in the nature, and normal problem is you get a selfish, paralytic selfish poisoning if you eat poisoned mussels like oyster or fish. Well, but they use this this poisoning or this saxitoxin because this animal in our eyes, this animal can produce this saxitoxin. Well, the way how this saxitoxin makes the damage in our nervous system is described as follows. The saxitoxin is a sodium channel blocker, and this sodium channel blocker is blocking the transport of sodium. It is always positive. It is an ion that is in our synaptic clef, and our nerves, they have channels to produce the sodium, and this saxitoxin blocks these channels, and if there are no sodium anymore, so well, then there's no transport of information. This is the way how this saxitoxin works. Saxitoxin is a neurotoxin that acts as a selective sodium channel blocker, one of the most potent known natural toxins. It acts on the voltage gated sodium channel of neurons, preventing normal cellular function and leading to paralysis. The voltage-gated sodium channel is essential for normal neuronal functioning. It exists as integral membrane proteins interspersed along the axon of a neuron and possessing 4 domains that span the cell membrane. Opening of the voltage-gated sodium channel occurs when there's a change in voltage or some ligand binds in the right way. It is of foremost importance for these sodium channels to function properly, as they are essential for the propagation of an actional potential. Without this ability, the nerve cell becomes unable to transmit signals, and the region of the body that it innervates is cut off from the nervous system. Well, it sounds dramatically, but normally it is just that it sounds a little bit like I'm going to death now, but it's not. It's just that the nervous system is not working so good anymore, and well, you can also feel a little bit. The symptoms sometimes are also you feel sick in your stomach and your brain hurts, and it's all made by this small eye floater, but it's not the same concentration as you eat if you have this selfish poisoning, paralytic selfish poisoning syndrome, sorry. If you eat a poisoned oyster, you have much more problems than by this eye floater. So it is always a question of concentration. Well, and you can fight this with I said already, this chloride dioxide. So there are sodium channel blockers. It's one way to disturb the synaptic cleft. Let me talk about two other neurotoxins, and then I think I go to this helping things. Botulinum toxin, Botox, is a neurotoxic protein produced by the bacterium Clostridium botulinum and related species. It prevents the release of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine from axon endings at the neuromuscular junction, and this causes flaccid paralysis. Infection with the bacterium causes the disease botulism. The toxin is also used commercially for medical and cosmetic purposes. Botulinum toxin is the most acutely lethal toxin known. Intoxication can occur naturally as a result of either wound or intestinal infection, or by ingesting performed toxin in food. Well, it sounds dramatically. It can be leading to death, but it is not like in this clip of the Wolffenstein game. Nobody comes with an injection and pump you up in your vein. This botulinum toxin, I guess they're sending it with scalar waves. It's always in a low concentration. It is inside a vacuum channel. It is very tiny dust. It's a gas. It is small drops of this water, and inside this water they are maybe this bacteria, or maybe they take the product of the bacteria, but the concentration is always low enough that you survive it. Well, this is a good message. Nobody comes with an injection to kill you. It will not happen. Well, I go on with this botulinum toxin. The bacteria which produce this Botox or botulinum toxin, it's called Clostridium botulinum, is a gram-positive rod-shaped anaerobic spore-forming motile bacterium with the ability to produce the neurotoxin botulinum. Well, that's it. It's a bacterium, and it produces this, and I don't know what they are beaming. Maybe they beam the whole bacteria. It can be in a drop of water. And well, I think so, because always when I use this chloride dioxide, I spray it also in the back of my brain, and I spray it in my mouth. Then it helps. Every time I do this, it helps a lot. That means it must be the bacteria, the whole bacteria, and not only the product of the bacteria, but maybe they can beam both. Only this Botox or botulinum toxin without bacteria, I must confess I don't know exactly. Well, the next important neurotoxin made by bacteria is tetanus toxin, the toxin of the video game clip. Tetanus toxin is an extremely potent neurotoxin produced by the vegetative cell of Clostridium tetani in anaerobic conditions, causing tetanus. It has no known function for Clostridia in the soil environment where they are normally encountered. Yeah, it's in a soil, so they say it is also called spasmogenic toxin. Clostridium tetani is a common soil bacterium and the causative agent of tetanus. I show you another interesting graphic how tetanospasmin is working and reaches the central nervous system. I hold it short and then I change to a better view. Like in the text, you can read here. This tetanospasmin is entering the motoneuron. Well, I must say also about something about a motoneuron. A motoneuron is a cell that is connecting the brain with the muscles. The central nervous system is connected with muscles, and in this the alpha motor neurons are found in the brainstem and spinal cord. They innervate extrafusal muscle fibers of skeletal muscle and are directly responsible for initiating their contraction. Alpha motor neurons are distinct from gamma motor neurons, which innervate intrafusal muscle fibers of muscle spindles. Here comes another graphic of this muscle spindles. Well, going back to this graphic, this neurotoxin tetanospasmin entering this motoneuron, I think both, the alpha motor neurons, also the beta motor neurons, because sometimes when they spray this, I have this film on my face in my apartment. They have a special machine that they hit my face with this biofilm, and inside this biofilm there must be this neurotoxin, because my skin feels then like not death but numb. It's a numb feeling of skin, and then after a while I feel in the back brain or in my small brain this weak feeling, and this is exactly how in this graphic is explained. This tetanospasmin is taken up by motor neurons in the peripheral nerve endings through endocytosis. That means it enters the cell on the peripheral nerve endings. So that can be skin, like skin of the face. It can also be the back of the brain. It can also be the bronchial tube. They're sending it also to my bronchial tube, and then after a while I feel this tired feeling or this weak feeling in the back of my brain. So that means this is the center of my nervous system, and it goes all the way from this peripheral nerve endings, the retrograde style, in a retrograde style. So it starts the ending of the nerves, and then it reaches the central nervous system and makes you tired. Your motions are slow, your thinking is slow, your speaking is slow, all these things. I think many targets know this, and it's caused by this tetramospasmin. Well, there are different kinds of bacteria tribes. I don't know which tribe they use, but one thing is for sure, they're using neurotoxins. And now I will go on with some helping things. This is maybe the most interesting. Well, what you need is chloride dioxide. The best way, they are already solutions that are, you can buy it as a solution, but you can do it by your own. If you do it by your own, you need these two components. The one component, it's called common salt or sodium chloride in a solution of 25%, and the other one is hydrochloric acid, 4% or 5%. And the best way, you see the film of Jim Humble. I have also on my channel. He explains exactly which kind of solution he makes, for what purpose. Well, I explain that you need the same amount of drops of every component, so you can make a glass of water. Jim Humble makes 3 drops of hydrochloric acid, and then another 3 drops of sodium chloride, and then you need this bernstein color. It looks like Bernstein, and then you fill it up with a glass of water. I have different solutions. One is for spraying. This is about 1 ounce. In Germany it's 60 milliliter, but you have 1 ounce, and I put 10 drop of every component in it, and then first in a glass, and then this amount of water, and then I fill it in. And if I have an attack, if I have this biofilm on my face and I feel this numb feeling on my skin, I just spray the whole face with this chloride dioxide. I bring it a little bit in this eyes, because in this eyes they like to use also this eye hole for the scalaways, so there are maybe other things going inside. So I take a little bit my fingers, and then I rub it a little bit in, but not too much, and the concentration must be low, because there's still something in it of this hydrochloric acid. You know, every chemical reaction is not 100%. There's always a little bit left of this starting substances like hydrochloric acid, and if you have too strong, it can a little bit burning your eyes, but it's not dangerous. It's just that it's a little bit, the skin is a little bit red, and if you see this, you have to make a lower concentration. If you feel this, make more water, maybe double the water or whatever. You have to find out which solution is good for you. Well, another helping things is, this is more immediately help. Another good thing is this vapor rub. This vapor rub is for, there are some oils in it from plants. It is called vapor rub. I have it from Lookout for Charlie, and you put something under your nose, just a little bit, and then you inhale, and this kills also a lot of bacteria, because they like to target these caverns in your mouth and in your nose, and if you have this vapor rub and you have a little bit, you put it here and you inhale it through your nose, so this helps. It's a quick help. Another help is tea tree oil. You put a little bit tea tree oil below your nose and also on the tip of your tongue, just a drop of tea tree oil, and then this tea tree oil is going in your caverns. That helps a lot. You can't do it all the day long, but if you feel an attack, that helps you out. Another good thing is when they are attacking your lung, they use my bronchial tube to put in this bacteria. I take vinegar acid. I take one shot and swallow, then I inhale, and it is like, well, it is a pain, and immediately I have to, sorry, I don't know the word. Then the second step is I take this under my nose, and then I inhale, and there comes another screaming of this bacteria. It's their final screening then, and then I don't know the word. It is good doing like this, and because this apple vinegar is spreading in the whole lung, and it's killing every bacteria they brought in. Well, it's just a simple way to fight this, and this apple vinegar is very precious for me. This is thing that helps immediately, but on a long term you need helping that bacteria can't flourish, that they can't, that they don't have such a good time inside your body. You, for this plankton, you take the plankton animals like this eye floater. You can push them back with this green, it's called spirulina algae. It's spirulina, it's green. I take 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, and that helps also a lot. You have to look for good nutrition, so eat fresh vegetable, fresh fruits. An apple is good, citron is good, the peel of the citron helps a lot, just eat a little bit. And this curcuma is good for the cleaning the pineal gland. Every time I go running, I take a little bit, and running I made a film, it's called Running Do It the Right Way. It is important that you strengthen your nervous system, small doses, don't overdrive, just to strengthen, make a run, make some exercises I explained in this film, and then you will see you break the blockade of your nervous system. After running, thinking comes back, speaking comes back, you feel better then, and also the heat you produce with this running, this heat helps to destroy this bacteria, and also maybe they spray also viruses. Well, not maybe, I know they do it. Well, okay. Other things that cleans your body is quark. It is very helpful because it helps that your body can build this neurotoxins down. Your body do it by itself. Your body can decompose these neurotoxins. It is quicker if you have your body with quark. Maybe there are some enzymes in it. It is only the best way is quark. Milk is cheese, yogurt. It's not so good. Quark is the best. And to support your nervous system, it is important to take silica. You know, silica. There are dragees you can take, but you can also eat millet. I eat for breakfast. I have millet flakes. That is good, supporting silica, because your nerves, they need silica. And of course, if you have a strong attack, you have always to have bone soup in your refrigerator, and because this attacks, they destroy your neurotransmitters like sodium, like calcium. All this is in this bone soup, and you replace this neurotransmitter with this bone soup. It is the best way, but of course you can't always have a glass of bone soup with you. This is maybe more for the evening, or yeah. Okay, you have to support your body. Don't smoke, don't drink alcohol. Also good is plum. Plum is also cleaning. You eat plums with quark together. This is very good. Green tea and wormwood tea. If you have a wormwood tea, there are so many bitter substances in this wormwood that the bacteria don't like it. You can also eat onion raw, don't cook it. Eat an onion raw, you have it in your mouth, and then you inhale this onion. That kills also a lot. They don't like it. Also possible is, well, I think that's it. Also important, lime sulfur dip. You know this lime sulfur dip you spray under the shower. The sulfur, it is the bacteria don't like it. Sulfur destroys also this bacteria's membrane. And well, I just check if I forgot something important, but I think that's all for this video. I just look, just a second. Well, no, that's it. So the main weapon against this bacteria is chlorine dioxide. It helps immediately. and you spray it sometimes on your face, on the back of your head, and it goes inside your brain, and you will see, you will feel much more better, because there are bacteria, they like to stay in your brain, and they multiply with special frequencies. And if you take chlorine dioxide, you can drink it. Look the film of Jim Humble. He explains it. See the whole protocol. You can also do it rectal. It's a very good way. You will feel better in your brain. I promise you. This chlorine dioxide is the most important defender against this bacteria. They use in this silent war. Well, wish the best for you. See you in the next video.